Now on the Locked On Celtics podcast, bonus content. Jayson Tatum really seemed to nail this comeback, didn't he? Thanks for being here. Thanks for making this show your first listen and maybe your second listen. Maybe you listened to the other show before, and now you're listening to bonus content here, which we'll do during the week from time to time. So make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcast, watch the show there on YouTube, and get all of this content dropped directly to your device. I'm John Karalis, beat writer for Celtics on SI, covering the team for 20 years, doing this podcast for 10, and doing it with Tom Westerholm once again. Tom Westerholm, there he is.
What up?
What's going on?
Yeah. No, hey.
Bonus. It's quick, man. We got to get through this.
Yeah, we got to get through this thing. You got to get out to Las Vegas.
I know. There's a whole nightlife out here. Just it's the beauty of being able to cover teams remotely. Yeah. Like, you know what? Let's just take a couple of days and just have some fun.
Did I blow up your spot?
You know, it's all right.
Yeah. All right, my bad.
I'm excited to cover NBA basketball from the West, from Pacific time zone.
I'm very jealous.
I was walking into my room today, and I'm like, I always do this in the Pacific time zone. I'm like, oh, is this last night's? When did the Cavs? Oh no, this game's going on right now.
Happening as we speak.
It's happening now.
It's not fair.
It is. I know. It's maybe someday. But for now, we're here. We're doing the Boston Celtics and Jayson Tatum. And you mentioned this on the last podcast, and it really struck me. So I was like, we got to continue this conversation. Jayson Tatum just seemed to nail this comeback. Yeah. And it's interesting that he chose the timing that he did. And, it got me like thinking, because I said in the last podcast, the full podcast, I'm sure the doctors told him a while ago that you're cleared, you're good. And he had to decide himself, okay, this is the day I'm coming back to play. I wonder why he chose this. Did he choose it to come back and be as close to himself as possible? You heard Shams talk about he wanted to come back and be Jayson Tatum. He didn't want to be some percentage of Jayson Tatum. Was that like code? Was that code because we all expected him to come back and be 70%, 60%, two 7-minute stints off the bench and all that stuff, and now he's weeks ahead of what we thought he would be.
My guess, right? One, there's like 8 different levels to this, right? Because I think he had a lot of time to plan it, right? I think, but I think as it became clear that he was going to be cleared, right? I think one, we kind of touched on this, right? It was interesting because there was a lot of speculation that he might come back for that Sixers game, and a Knicks game, right? And my thing was like, why would you come back for a Knicks game? Why would you put all that pressure on yourself to in such a big game? Why would you do that, right? And I was like, why wouldn't you come back against like the Nets? So my joke was always like, I thought he was going to come back February 27th, right?
Yeah.
But the same principle, actually, the Mavericks kind of thread that needle perfectly because it is a big stage. It's a national game. It's a team that you recently played in the finals. It was a big deal for him to come back, but also not a very good team and not a team that is necessarily good, not a team that's going to test you, but also not a team that you're competing with in the standings, right? A pretty low impact game that still has a lot of eyeballs on it. That actually threads that needle kind of nicely, right? And then again, you look at the schedule. If he was sore after that Friday game, everyone would understand if he took that Sunday off, right? That Sunday game was less than 48 hours later.
I expected him to.
I thought he was going to. And he's out there because he felt great, but 100% could have just taken that Cleveland game off. And then to our point in the last pod, right? Then he gets to test himself against the Thunder. He gets to test himself against the Spurs. And, not for nothing, that does 2 things for the Celtics, right? One, they get to see, okay, how could Tatum fit in against these teams? And 2, it's, if you lose to those teams, you don't want to, but who cares?
Who cares?
It's a chance for you to test yourself in games that aren't really going to affect you that much in the standings other than just like a win and a loss. Right. So, I mean, I think it was a lot of that stuff. And then I think like I said on the last one, I mean, it does feel to me a little bit like he waited long enough to where he knew that when he came back, he would be good. And I think that was really smart because that just is going to instill more confidence in you in your own comeback, right? The psychological effect of just being able to be like, hey, I'm not completely myself, but I'm still a problem out there. Like, you're going to have to account for me. And like, what a great way to, what a great feeling that must be as a returning player who's, went through this injury that used to just end people's careers to some degree. And Tatum does not look like a guy whose career is in any jeopardy after coming back from this injury. So yeah, I don't know. I think he kind of threaded a lot of needles there.
Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing like being in an NBA arena. I know because I'm in a lot of them. In the crowd, the energy, the moment. Getting tickets though, not so easy. But I'm telling you, I've used Game Time before. It's an easy go-to app for scoring tickets fast without the hassle. It puts the advantage back in your hands. When you open up the Game Time app, you're going to see the price. That's the price you pay. No surprise fees at checkout. You're going to see the view from your seat if you're going to a new arena. Maybe you're on the road. Maybe you want to go check them out. Maybe you're new to Boston or you're flying into Boston. You haven't seen what a TD Garden is or what the corresponding section numbers are. They'll show you the view from your seat. And if you want to pick the section, there's zone deals. Game Time picks the seats in the section you choose, and you save money that way. It's a very easy app to use. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. That's LOCKED, locked on, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. And remember, if you're using the web, it's gametime.co, gametime.co. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Would love to have you joining the Everydayer Club. The Everydayer Club is $5 a month or $50 for the year. You get ad-free audio, so you didn't hear what I just said for the last minute or so. You get that for $5 a month or $50 for the year. You get access to the group chat on Discord. And if you're signed up before the NCAA tournament tips off, you get into the Everydayer Club bracket pool on Discord for a chance to win Locked On merch. So it should be a lot of fun. Use the code MARCH to get your first month free. Head over to lockedonceltics.supercast.com. Use the code MARCH for the first month free. Can we just sit back and enjoy what this means for him for a second? Like, I saw a tweet about Sean Grandy, and it's on the Celtics Radio Network Twitter, and it's a long answer that he really gets into Jayson Tatum, and Sean Grandy, you got to go read it. I'm not going to do it justice, but I want to play off of it. He talks about falling off the mountaintop. Jayson Tatum was on the mountaintop and he fell off, and there he is on the floor at Madison Square Garden, and he's kind of looking back up the mountain and going, oh, I got to climb all that again now. And can I even? And when will I get there? How will I get there? Can I? All of that stuff. And now he's like at the summit, or he can see the summit. It's just a little bit longer. This is the formality. He's gotten through all the tough part. And it's just, I think all of this, the orchestration, if it was orchestration, I think it's part of the payoff, right? I'm coming back. I have earned the right to make sure that I'm coming back when I feel good, when I feel right. And you do probably look at the schedule and say, this is a good stretch. I'll get this game against Dallas. I'll get this game against the Cavs. And then we'll see from there. I want to get tested. I want to get pushed, because you should want to get pushed.
Yeah.
But you also look at him on the floor and he's smiling. And even after the Cavs game where he was doing the walk-off interview, and he said, I can't stress enough how happy I am just to be here. And James Harden comes up and just gives him a tap on the chest and says, I'm proud of you, bro. And all of these players who you may or may not even be friends with, but they're just, everybody knows what it takes. We can make our jokes about Harden sometimes, but you don't get here without the work. So he knows. Everybody knows what it takes. And to go through this kind of injury and to do it all again and to get yourself here and be back and be you, all of these guys have reason to come up and say, I'm proud of you, bro. And Jayson has every right to sit here and just pause for a second and soak it up and go, yeah, man, thanks. I'm proud of me too. You know, you can sit there and say, I'm proud of me. And you can hug your son a little bit more. And you can hug your mom a little bit more and say, you guys helped me get through. All of these moments, these human moments for Jayson are so important. They may be as important for him to experience as the, oh man, I just switched on to Donovan Mitchell and I did a good job defensively, or look at this step back three that I just hit. All of these things, all of this, when you talk about nailing a comeback, the human element of it all matters, I think, as much as the basketball in these early stages.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, right? Because Tatum has experienced so much in his young career, I guess his less and less young career at this point, but he has experienced as we get older, Tatum also gets older. It's messed up.
I am not aged. I don't care.
Not a bit.
Not one bit.
I'm still so athletic. It makes me so happy.
Yeah.
No, I think Tatum, as Tatum, gets older, he's experienced so much, right? He's positive and negative. He's experienced teams that were just woefully disappointing. He has gotten really just he's gotten it kind of stuck to him by the media. And honestly, some of those teams kind of deserved it. They weren't good. Like, some of those teams were really disappointing basketball teams. And he overcame all that and he won a title. And I think one of the things that Tatum had never had to overcome before, right, was a major injury. Tatum was legendarily good at staying on the floor, and he loves, he just always wants to be out there. He wants to be playing basketball, and he was out there a lot, playing a lot of basketball. And he had never had to overcome this specific thing. And obviously you would prefer that nobody ever gets hurt. But the truth is that everybody does get hurt at some point. And Tatum now has climbed that mountain. And it was really interesting to just kind of see him talking to, talking to the ESPN broadcast and doing his like post-game interview and just kind of being like, yeah, just taking a big breath and kind of being like, I'm still just kind of enjoying being back. And
yes,
you should. You should. And I think that, for him, this isn't just a return to action. It's just this, it's also this massive moment of growth that you don't get until you get really injured and you have to come back and you have to do rehab and you have to have a surgery and you have to watch, other people playing the game that you love and that you want to be out there doing. You have to have that acknowledgement of your own mortality that is getting injured, because everybody's body breaks down. Everybody gets older. Stuff happens to everyone. Yep. And now it has happened to Tatum, and he's had that growth. And I don't know. I think it's going to be really cool to see where he goes from here, right? Just what that growth looks like, who he is now after that, because he's going to be a different person now. He is going to be a different, like stronger in a lot of ways person, at least mentally. He's going to be a lot, I think we're going to get to see that growth. That's the thing about sports, right? When somebody's out on the field, they're out on the court, they're just kind of exposed. You get to see where they've grown. And we're going to get to see that with Tatum. And I think that's cool because, again, what's more human than aging and getting hurt and your body failing you and you having to decide to whether, how you're going to overcome that. And he's done that now.
Buddy, the other day I was yawning and stretching. A literal yawn and stretch. And I just all of a sudden heard a little in my back. I was like, oh. And I literally hurt myself yawning and stretching last week. because I'm in my 50s and that happened. So yes, I felt that what you just said. I feel that literally in my bones still right now.
I feel that in my spine right this second. And
Feel it. Just this weird, yeah.
between my fourth and fifth vertebrae.
Today's show is brought to you by TurboTax. It is tax season, and we're coming down the stretch. And the old way of doing taxes is, we know it's a lot. Trying to book an appointment, that's not the most convenient thing. Sitting in a waiting room with a stack of papers, that stinks. Emailing back and forth and wondering if they really get your situation, very annoying. But this year, you're getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. Just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar you deserve while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's the relief of walking in and meeting a real person and walking out knowing your taxes are being handled right. Head to turbotax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. College basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night, and we're in tournament time. So you've got tip-offs all over the place. East Coast, West Coast, there's always action. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn all of that energy into bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. You can build any college hoops parlay that you want. Rivalry games, ranked matchups, whatever you want. And you can mix spreads, totals, player props, and match how you see the slate playing out. Then you can apply the profit boost instantly to bump up the potential payout. You want to go safe? You want to go bold? Ride with a team you've been following all season. It's your parlay. It's your style. Now with more upside behind it. Go to FanDuel.com right now to get started. When you sign up, they'll ask you to set a limit, set a budget. Please do that so you can gamble responsibly. Whatever you can afford to lose, that's your budget. FanDuel will help you out by helping you gamble responsibly at FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. I love the humanity of this. I really do. It's honestly one of my number one goals in all of this has always been to remind people that these are human beings. They are remarkable human beings, remarkable athletic specimens. Their bodies have they are capable of doing things very few human bodies are able to do. But they still go to sleep. They still wake up. They go through all of the same things that we do, except they possess a certain incredible skill that makes them an ungodly amount of money, and it gives them a life that is different than ours. But
and injury recovery is different than ours, but that neither here nor there.
Sure. But it's still a life. It's still breathing and hurting and self-doubt and reminders. You know, like Jayson Tatum has been kind of almost crafted into this NBA pro, and in credit to his mom. And I want to shout out Brandy Cole because you see in that docuseries what she meant to him. She has guided him through all of this.
Yeah.
Some people will argue that some of it is manufactured, right? It's a very polished kind of personality that he puts forth, but that's what being a performer is, and being an endorser and all of that stuff. There's a certain element of we're putting forth this face that we're perfecting and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But also, I can't imagine a better role model for kids look up to athletes. And, I'm old enough to remember the Charles Barkley ad campaign. I am not a role model because he threw some dude through a window in a bar fight.
Right.
Jayson Tatum's not throwing anybody through any windows.
Sure is not. No.
Jayson Tatum is a great dad.
And Jayson Tatum did not have an easy childhood either. Like, it's not. Yeah.
He could have given in to a lot. Jaylen Brown, same thing. Could have
Absolutely.
given into a lot. This locker room is full of incredible human beings. And this, we're talking about Jayson here because all of this matters. And I want to take a second, not to derail this because we're going to wrap up soon, but to hear Sports Talk Radio go after Tatum and his family, just so they can have talking points and get people upset to call in, is so garbage, such garbage, disingenuous crap that it's I find it disgusting, because it's okay to celebrate this. This is a moment, like, there's plenty in sports where we can look at it and say, okay, you've disappointed me. Here are the reasons why you disappointed me. I've said that about Jayson Tatum. I've said that about Jaylen Brown years ago when they were disappointing, all the stuff that you've mentioned.
Yeah.
This is something to celebrate. This is a dude, and it's a humbling moment for him, and he's coming through, and look at the appreciation that he has for this moment. The way everything has been done has been kind of perfect. Not only did he nail the comeback just when he came back, that guy nailed every step of this recovery. He got everything right. To come back at 10 months, you got everything right on the nose. Credit to him, credit to Nick Sang, credit to Dr. O'Malley, credit to Joe Mazzulla and Brad Stevens for not putting pressure on him, credit to Jayson Tatum for going through it and having the mindset to do it.
Credit to Deuce just because.
Credit to Deuce for just being there, being Deuce. And credit to Brandy Cole for being there for him and raising him this way. Credit to everybody involved. When you talk about nails the comeback, everything from the beginning to here, every aspect of it has been just dead on. It could not be more impressed, surprised in a positive way, all of it. This is a cause for celebration for him, and it should be celebrated. There's absolutely zero negative about this, and I defy anyone to find a negative aspect of it.
There's no negative here. And like, I mean, look, you and I have joked about how like we've just been kind of green teamers this year, right? Because we're just like, I don't know, dog. Joe Mazzulla is the best coach in the NBA. Brad Stevens is the best GM in the NBA. What do you want from me? Both those things are true. Peyton Pritchard should probably be the sixth man of the year. I don't know. What do you want from me, dog? It's true. Like, it's all true. Right. I guess he probably hasn't been sixth man long enough. But regardless, he's all, all this stuff is all true about the Celtics. Jaylen Brown has been awesome. Kata has been awesome. Shireman's been awesome. All this stuff has been really good. Like, sometimes you just have to call balls and strikes, and sometimes it's just a homer. I don't know. Like, I'm not like, yes. If you want to be honest, right? If you want to be honest about a team when things are negative, sure, do that. Please do that. If things are negative, be yes, call it out.
Be honest about it. Yes,
you have to be honest about it. I mean, like, I've joked about this on the pod before, but like, I used to do a podcast with a couple of very good friends called Chino Time, and like, people used to get like, I don't know, people used to get kind of mad at us because we were so negative all the time about the Celtics. It was like, dude, I don't know what you want from me. Like, Enes Kanter's out there. This sucks. This is awful to watch. These teams are awful. Like, they choked all the time. They were not good for long stretches. And like, you call that out, right? You say like, hey, like there's something wrong here. There's stuff that's wrong here. There's stuff that isn't working. Something isn't working. And I think, hello. And I think that then when things do work, it's you got to, again, literally, right? I mean, I'm not even joking. You got to call balls and strikes. You have to then say like, everything is really good right now. And everything about Tatum's comeback has been so positive. If negative stuff starts happening, we'll call it out. If the Celtics struggle, we'll talk about it. If stuff happens, like, then you bring that up. But for now, like, he's nailed it. And the Celtics are nailing it. They're 2-0 since he came back against, one mediocre team and one good team. Like, I don't know, man. There is no negativity to be had. There's no negativity that needs to be. There's none.
There's none. And even we've raised questions. We've raised
100%.
questions.
Yes.
It's going to work. How is this going to go with? How is it going to go with Jaylen and
I'm
Jayson?
so mad at you on Twitter.
Right. Like, okay, we got to see how it goes. We got to see how this is a possibility. And you know what? You get the games happen, and here's your answer. Boom, done. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. And people can say, well, I always knew it was going to be fine. Yeah, you can say that, but you didn't know until the games happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so we explore.
And you still need to, and you can still have the question about, I agree that it's going to be fine, but I'm curious about how fine looks. I want to see how fine looks. That's also a valid question to ask.
Yeah.
I want to see what the Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown dynamic looks like, because it is complex. Complex isn't bad. Complex can be really, really good, but complex is still complex. There's still a lot to it.
That's right. Just because there are questions doesn't make it negative.
No.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that, because that's a whole other podcast.
Bonus pod number 2 coming up.
Yeah, there we go. The one that I'm going to take off the Lockdown Podcast Network so I can swear. No, but yeah, man, I've been having conversations with people. It's like I've tried to analyze Jayson, or like Joe and Brad, and whenever I question anything that they do, there's a good chance that I'm the one that's wrong. You know, I'm trying, like, let's explore these possibilities. I'm probably wrong, but they've probably got it right. Yeah, no, they were right again. So that's it. It's what can I say other than everybody's nailed it. Jayson Tatum especially. It's been great. It's been fun. Yep. This podcast has also been fun, Tom.
Yeah. For
the second time in half an hour.
To safe skies to you, Captain, with your airplane headphones and microphone. Safe journeys.
Flight 4413 coming in for a landing, requesting clearance on runway A.
That was pretty good. It sounded about right.
Yeah. Flight 4413 is my basketball numbers.
Okay, I wondered if that's what that was. I heard the 44, and I was like, that sounds
44 was my college.
That sounds pointed.
Yeah. All right, Tom. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man.
I do appreciate all of you who have been here. Bonus podcast. So we do this every once in a while when we have a topic that we really want to explore again, because the next podcast is going to be Celtics Spurs. So I'll be there talking about Celtics Spurs. That'll be the next podcast. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts. You can watch the show on YouTube. I would love for you to get in the comment section there, and then share the podcast. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.